Hello, this is Dr. Stanley Lang, and welcome to this video. I'd like to tell you a story about a patient that I saw today who I was seeing back after evaluation for fatigue about 3 weeks ago. And this lady's about 75 years old and is typical of many people that I see that are older than 65, but also is typical of a lot of younger people. And this person had been having, as a chief problem or complaint, we say in medicine, her complaint was that she was weak in her legs and she had diarrhea. And it'd been going on for quite a while. And so we did some blood work, and the test showed a mild decline in her kidney function. It showed that she had a significant amount of imbalance in her thyroid system, so we call that hypothyroid. She was underactive, and her calcium level was high. The other major chemicals were fairly normal that we measured. Because the kidney function was slightly declined, I recommended to her that she just start to consume 60 ounces of fluid a day, because it's been my experience that most of the time when there's a mild decline in kidney function, it's not real. It's actually being caused by the person being on the dry side. We call that dehydration. Now, she wasn't clinically dehydrated. She looked completely normal. But like most people in her age group, and for like most people, I would say in general, she was not drinking enough liquids. But the effect on older people is more substantial. And so not only was her kidney function declining, her thyroid hormone was actually more out of balance because of the effect of dehydration. And surprisingly, when she started to increase her fluid intake to the amount that I suggested, which is at least 60 ounces a day, her diarrhea went away. Now, most of the time, when you have chronic dehydration, that will cause constipation in people. But in her case, it was causing diarrhea. Now, how is that? Well, the issue here is that the balance of fluid in the colon affects how it contracts. So when it's contracting abnormally, you can get either constipation or diarrhea. Most of the time, constipation is a result of being dehydrated, but in this case, she was actually having diarrhea. Now, every one of her problems got better with this fluid intake, and even the thyroid imbalance is almost back to normal, to a point that she doesn't really need to treat it. It's that close to normal. Whereas before, it was quite a bit off. So her calcium level got better, her thyroid levels got better, her energy level got a lot better, the weakness in her legs went away. And it's a good example of just the need to drink a lot of fluids. Now, the problem with older folks, particularly over 75, but for a lot of people over 65, the urge to drink, the thirst filling sort of goes away. And the older people get, the more they lose this urge to drink something. So they could get really dry and not feel thirsty. But that does happen in a lot of younger people too. They just don't drink enough liquids, as I said. So one of the ways to significantly improve your energy almost overnight is to make sure you're getting more than 60 ounces of fluid a day. And especially if you concentrate that 60 ounces in the first part of the day, like if you can get most of it in before noon, and that really pushes the fluid balance up in the body. If you do that, for a lot of people that have fatigue, they'll have more energy, and they'll discover that they actually were on the dry side without doing all the blood work that I did to understand this woman's problems. You would discover, by virtue of this trial, of making sure that you're drinking at least 60 ounces a day. So what should it be? Well, ideally, it would be mainly water. Now, is one of the questions that people ask, is it okay to drink some coffee each day or tea, because caffeine has a so-called diuretic effect, which means it causes the body to get rid of liquid? And the answer to that is it doesn't matter, because after 1 week, your body reestablishes balance, and that so-called diuretic effect from caffeine goes away. So if you're consistently consuming the same amount of caffeine, it's not a big deal if you're drinking enough liquids. So that's the real thing. So when we're talking about 60 ounces, it's water-based fluids, basically, with most of it being water. So if you do this, your body will function better. It will tell you that it's functioning better because you'll feel better. So I encourage you to get the fluid you need. And one way to do that is to measure it all out, put it on your kitchen cabinet at the beginning of the day. And that way, every time you walk by, you'll see it and be reminded that you've got some water to drink. So I hope you found this helpful. God bless you and have a great day.